Get ready for the action, because we are kicking things off with a massive showdown in the world of speed. Nelson Piquet Jr. has dropped some serious heat, drawing a sharp contrast between former teammate Fernando Alonso and seven-time world champion Lewis Hamilton. Piquet Jr. is laying down the facts, arguing that Alonso still carries a level of passion and hunger that Lewis simply doesn't possess anymore, even at 44. We dive deep into what makes this veteran driver's motivation so admirable compared to the champion's drive.
Stop using your finger for notes, sketches, and edits. This Jam Jake stylus pen gives your iPad a smoother, more precise writing feel with palm rejection so your hand can rest naturally on the screen. It charges fast, works for hours, and comes with replacement tips. Perfect for school, work, or creative projects. Check the link in the comments to grab it on Amazon.
Next up, we look at the massive financial fallout from the recent chaos in the racing world. The cancellations of the Grand Prix in Bahrain and Saudi Arabia have created a huge financial hole for Formula One, costing the championship over €200 million in lost revenue. We explore how Liberty Media is weathering this storm, examining the reliance on TV rights and global sponsorships to keep the core business afloat, and what these cancellations mean for the future of the sport. Now we switch gears to the on-track controversy surrounding the new rules. Formula One is facing intense scrutiny after implementing radical changes to the cars, especially the controversial near 50-50 split between combustion and electrical power. We hear directly from drivers like Max Verstappen calling the new cars anti-racing, and Fernando Alonso jokingly rebranding the sport as the Battery World Championship, as the governing body tries to defend the product. Finally, we get the inside scoop on the future direction of the sport. F1 boss Stefano Domenicali is telling us that critics have short memories, but the attention on the product is at an all-time high, especially with younger fans. We discuss the shift towards B2C marketing and how Formula One is trying to become relevant for the next generation, all while hinting at potential tweaks ahead of the Miami Grand Prix. Don't miss the rest of this explosive update. Formula One veteran Nelson Piquet Jr. has drawn a sharp comparison between former teammate Fernando Alonso and seven-time world champion Lewis Hamilton, asserting that Alonso maintains a distinct level of passion and motivation. Speaking to Soy Motor in Valencia, Piquet highlighted that Alonso's enduring drive remains a defining characteristic, even at the age of 44. Piquet stated, "His speed, he's a very fast guy who's always very hungry. He has the same motivation and the same hunger as he did 20 years ago. It's something very admirable. You don't see the same thing with Lewis, for example." Further contrasting the two champions, Piquet argued that Lewis lacks the same depth of emotion. He remarked, "Lewis doesn't have the love, passion, and hunger that Fernando still has, and Fernando is older. He's 5 or 6 years older than my and Lewis's generation, and he has more passion than many of the other drivers, and that's very respectable." Piquet recalled his time racing alongside Alonso at Renault in 2008 and 2009, noting that the Spaniard's performance level has remained consistent. He described Alonso as being akin to Max Verstappen in his love for racing, calling him a fast and dedicated competitor. Reflecting on their past rivalry, Piquet noted, "When I raced against him, we're talking about 2008, 18 years ago. He was at his peak. He was very difficult to beat. I respect him a lot as a driver." Piquet concluded by suggesting that pure passion is the ultimate determinant of top F1 competitors, potentially influencing their future trajectories. He added a cautionary note, stating, "If things in F1 don't change, Verstappen might want to do something else." Formula One faces significant financial repercussions following the cancellation of the Grand Prix events in Bahrain and Saudi Arabia, resulting in a loss exceeding €200 million in organization fees and sponsorships. While the championship's business model is designed to cushion such shocks, the cancellations have triggered a notable market reaction, with Liberty Media, the organizing company, experiencing a nearly 12% drop in the stock market. The uncertainty remains regarding the ability of Formula One to proceed with the season in Qatar or Abu Dhabi. Gulf countries, including Saudi Arabia and Qatar, represent a crucial revenue stream, contributing over €50 million each, underscoring the importance of their hosting stability. Despite the immediate financial hit, the organization maintains an optimistic outlook based on its diversified revenue structure. In 2025, Formula One generated nearly $3.87 billion, with a significant portion derived from stable sources like long-term TV rights agreements and global sponsorships independent of specific race calendars. Furthermore, logistical changes resulting from canceled races offer potential, albeit indirect, competitive advantages. Under the current budget cap, fewer races translate to reduced logistical costs, potentially freeing up resources for teams to focus on technical development, which could alter competitive hierarchies when the season resumes. The impact varies across disciplines. MotoGP, with a more race-dependent revenue structure, has felt the pinch more acutely. Its 2024 revenue closed at €462 million, a 5% decline following the cancellation of the Argentine and Valencia Grands Prix. MotoGP's structure is less resilient due to a lack of major global contracts to absorb extended breaks, and the championship is currently focused on securing the Qatar Grand Prix and hoping for a postponement until November. Looking ahead, the crisis casts doubt on Formula One's long-term strategy of expanding into the Middle East, a plan that included a Saudi Arabian race slated for 2028. This setback raises serious questions about the internationalization of MotoGP, a vital strategy for increasing revenue and reducing European reliance. The resilience shown by Formula One in navigating the current geopolitical challenges remains a key factor in determining the future trajectory of the entire motorsport landscape. Formula One faces a significant hurdle in addressing its challenges for the 2026 season, with industry analysis suggesting that the current regulatory framework may not offer the necessary solution. According to Motorsport magazine, the 2026 regulations represent more than just alterations to driving techniques. They fundamentally reshape the visual experience of the sport. These changes are expected to have a profound impact on how the competition is perceived and executed on the track, signaling a major paradigm shift for the future of Formula One. Formula One chief executive Stefano Domenicali has dismissed criticism regarding the sport's new racing style and controversial car regulations as stemming from a short memory among critics. The changes this year involved unprecedented aerodynamic designs and new engines, with the introduction of a near 50-50 split between combustion and electrical power, sparking intense focus on battery deployment during qualifying and races. Driver reaction has been sharp. Max Verstappen has labeled the new cars anti-racing and compared them to Mario Kart, while Fernando Alonso has jokingly dubbed the series the Battery World Championship. Fan feedback has been mixed, particularly concerning the new form of overtaking facilitated by battery boosts. In response to the criticism, Domenicali defended the product, arguing that overtaking is inherently an overtake, citing the evolution of the sport since the turbo era of the 1980s. He suggested that some critics are overlooking historical context. Formula One is currently considering minor rule tweaks ahead of the Miami Grand Prix on May 3, with preliminary technical discussions underway. These adjustments are expected to be small, focusing specifically on qualifying, rather than sweeping overhauls to overtaking. Domenicali emphasized the overwhelmingly positive response to the new racing format, noting increased viewership and attendance, with top 10 markets showing collective growth. He highlighted a shift in audience demographics, stating that younger generations are paying closer attention to the sport. The team is actively pursuing a shift from business to consumer engagement, partnering with brands like Lego and Disney to make F1 relevant to a younger audience. Domenicali concluded that while technology like AI is present, the human factor will remain central to the sport.